Now, amid this ongoing war between Israel and Hamas, there's massive escalation between Israeli army and Hezbollah in Lebanon. The Israeli military has said that it has conducted strikes in Lebanon in retaliation to Hezbollah's attacks on Israeli army posts and northern border village. The Israeli action comes after Iran's proxy, Hezbollah, killed top Israeli army commander on southern Lebanon. In fact, the Israeli military has said that it has conducted strikes in Lebanon in retaliation and that it declared a zone within 4 kilometers of Lebanese border off limits to public access. This is the worst border violence since a month-long war that began in 2006. It's now entered the second week between Israel and Lebanon.
The 300,000 is also includes forces that we've positioned in the north along the frontier with Lebanon in anticipation with the situation with Hezbollah. And as we see, we've had several attacks by Hezbollah across the border in the north with several anti-tank guided missiles fired at our forces. And I would like to say that the way we anticipate, the way we see is Hezbollah is currently trying to increase pressure at the will of Iran in order to undermine the efforts to destroy Hamas's capability in the Gaza Strip, and they're doing it in a way to escalate the situation on the border in order to challenge Israel and the IDF.
Now, UN establishments have been attacked by Israel in southern part of Lebanon. Ashraf Wani, who is right at the epicenter there, brings us this ground report.
I am here in the southern Lebanon in the city of Ankura. We are on the outskirts of Ankura on the beach of this Mediterranean Sea. This behind me is the main headquarters of the United Nations here in Ankura, which was bombed yesterday late evening by the jet of Israel army. Luckily, the bomb fell outside the periphery of the UN headquarters and there was not any kind of damage reported from the UN base here. It is worth to mention that most of the UN peacekeepers in Lebanon are from India. There are also soldiers from Tanzania, from Sri Lanka, from Indonesia and other Asian countries. But the major chunk of these soldiers is from India, who are peacekeeping force here with the United Nations in Lebanon and currently deployed on different areas in southern border. We tried to get some kind of reaction from the UN officials here. They are not ready to speak, but this incident is being discussed all across the world, that if UN base is being targeted by the Israel and what could be the condition of the people in the areas like Gaza and South Lebanon. So very reaction is coming from the Gulf countries after this bomb here in Ankura city of South Lebanon. Ashraf Wani for India Today in the Ankura.
Now, meanwhile, the Israeli forces have beefed up security all along its borders. Here's a report by Ashraf Wani of India Today.
I am in the Shuab area of the southern Lebanon, and this is the place which is the poorest border for the Israel, because you are seeing these mountains. These are part of the Palestine and controlled by Israel. In fact, these all areas are the part of Palestine. But on these mountains, there is not the concrete wall what the Israel created in other parts of the of its country, particularly on the border with Lebanon here in South Lebanon. These mountains are free to enter into Israel because there is no any kind of surveillance, human surveillance on these. That is why you are listening these voices of the unarmed vehicles. Regularly, during last 4 days, round the clock, these drones of the Israel are roaming here in this area to keep vigil by their cameras and the explosive equipped these drones. If they see any kind of activity by the Hezbollah in the area, they will drop the bomb on the particular spot, because these drones are being controlled on the other side of mountain by the Israeli army. During last 4 days, there is regular exchange of fire between rockets and missiles between Lebanon and the South Lebanon and the Israel. And from this front, Hezbollah is fighting, and in case of any war, there will be this front which will be first opted by Hezbollah to fight Israel. Ashrafani in Shab city of the South Lebanon on Lebanon-Israel border in Lebanon.
All right, Israel's three-front threat from Lebanon side, Syria side, and of course Gaza.